Days after the raid on Donald Trump's house, Florida Judge Bruce Reinhart is going to hear arguments on Thursday about releasing the affidavit that led to the raid on Mar-a-Lago last Monday. For more, let's welcome back in former President Trump's attorney, Alina Habba, back with us. Alina, so good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you take us through this hearing tomorrow, this affidavit hearing? How does something like this play out?
Sure. So it'll be in Florida, and we will have our Florida counsel who's handling this on the ground there. And basically, each side is going to present their case, and I'm sure the DOJ will argue that for witness protection issues and concerns that they need to keep portions of the affidavit quiet. We will, of course, advise that our concern is the validity of the warrant since it was so broad, and go into why we need to see more of what the basis was since we were cooperating. Right. And then the judge will hopefully render a ruling right away. Okay.
Is there, and I haven't heard this question asked, so that's why I'm asking it. We've got an out-of-control DOJ and out-of-control FBI right now. Is there any concern about a possible raid on Trump Tower or his residence at Bedminster? The president spends a lot of time in both places.
I never really thought of that, but I don't put anything out of the question anymore, to be honest, Rob, which is a little bit sad. But, don't forget when I was dealing with the attorney general, of course, I had to go through all of those motions. Right. And, we had to deal with going through Trump Tower, his Bedminster home, but that was for a different purpose and for different documents. A raid, I hope not. I hope this is the end of it. I don't think our country could withstand another issue like this.
Yeah, I agree with you. There are rumors that a possible indictment could come as early as Friday. Again, these are rumors, but I'm wondering what you're hearing. And then if there is, if there are charges and there is a trial in a place like Washington, how does Donald Trump get a fair trial in a place that Joe Biden won with 95% of the vote in 2020?
Yeah, there's definitely certain states that we know we're not going to get a fair trial most of the times. New York, Washington, there are states that are definitely biased. That's kind of the shake of what happens when you become a president. He unfortunately really does get a really unfair shake, as we've seen. Look, we'll see what happens. I have not heard of an indictment coming down the pipe. I'm concerned that if that happens, the reaction, given the fact that he has been cooperating, the fact that it'll look like it is a politically motivated pretextual attack, frightens me for the good of the country.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. And it seems like in many respects, the left is trying to foment violence. Take a listen to what MSNBC had to say about how the right-wing media is reacting to this raid.
There's an awful lot of hate speech coming from pro-Trump media outlets.
And anger.
Just attacking the nation's premier law enforcement agency simply because Donald Trump is being investigated. It's been that way now for years, unfortunately. The Republican Party, who used to defend law enforcement officers and used to defend the FBI, decided to trash the FBI once Donald Trump got into office. Despite the fact it was the FBI, in my humble opinion, that helped Donald Trump get into office.
All right, lot to unpack there. To quote Michelle Obama, when they go low, we're going to go high. But how much of this is the media's fault? This notion that we've got to stop Donald Trump at all costs.
Okay. Let's break that one down. First of all, the FBI helped him get into the office. The FBI were the ones that were part of the Russia hoax. We now have proof of that. Thank you to John Durham for that. So this is the problem, again, with fake news, with people getting conflicting information. They're now using words like inciting violence. And the fact that we're disagreeing with what the FBI is doing is that we might be inciting violence. Jan 6th is done, Cheney's out. Let's find a new thing for the midterms. It's so political. And the more that we do this and stop reporting just straight facts, what was in the affidavit, what can we see, what can't we see, what would be appropriate, the more we stop reporting facts and politicizing each side of the news, the country is just going to get more and more upset. Yeah. The FBI has never helped Donald Trump, Peter Strzok, and Lisa Page were famously texting about how to take him down in the insurance policy.
Yeah.
We have lawsuits pending because of it.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Peter Strzok, by the way, now a contributor, an FBI contributor for MSNBC.
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking. Alina Habba, great having you back on. Good to see you. Keep us posted. We'll be watching tomorrow. Thank you.